Hi Stampers, Annette Pearson here from Warnersville, Pennsylvania at NettePStamping.com. I'm going to show you today something that I started with a video earlier that I posted earlier on coloring 3 ways. We used this beautiful Hydrangea Haven stamp set, this one, to color the hydrangeas. I used Stampin blends, I used some watercolor pencils, and I used the regular stamp set because this is a 2-step stamping stamp set. As you can see, this adds the color, this adds color to that, and this adds the color to the leaves, so you can just add the color through stamping however you're most comfortable and whatever results you like the best. So now I'm going to show you how to put together the rest of the card. You're going to come up with something like this. And here's another one. This is a design that was done by Kylie Bertucci, an Australian demonstrator, who I think just does some beautiful things, and she doesn't mind borrowing her designs from her, so I went ahead and took license with that. Now this hydrangea here has been colored using the watercolor pencils. These two were both done with Stampin blends, and I really kind of like the way the Stampin blends look, but that's entirely your discretion. Before I get started, I just want to mention this is February's host code. If you place an order in the month of February and it's under $150, please use this code so that I can use the Stampin' Rewards to give prizes that I like to give. Speaking of prizes, if you comment at the end, at the bottom of this video, down at the bottom of the blog, comment, put the word shimmer in there, you will be put into a drawing to win a bottle of all-purpose shimmer ink, which 3 videos ago, I demonstrated how to make your own shimmer paper using this shimmer ink. It's a really, really cool product. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Okay, let's get back to making these. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your beautiful project that you have colored. Okay, this is colored by Stampin' Blends, and you're going to take your mini cutting and embossing machine, or you could take the big guy too, and you're going to cut this image down so it fits in there. So I make it about 3 inches. Okay, put it on your platform. Lay this down on top. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Yeah, it looks like you can see that pretty good. Okay, so I have this pretty matched up. If you don't feel real comfortable with it staying there, if you're afraid it's going to move and mess you up, you can use a piece of washi tape on there to hold it and then just pull it off when you're done. The washi tape usually doesn't stick too hard, so it comes off pretty easily. So you're okay doing that. I'm not worried about it though. I think it's going to stay. So just run it through your die cutter. I do this every time I place this paper here, so that I know exactly how far I can go so you can still see me, and then I move it. So I hope that I didn't mess myself up too bad. Anyway, take this off. Oh, I gotta tell you a story. I usually start my videos out with me saying hello, a facial view, and then I flip the camera down onto my work surface. Well, I was trying to do that the other day to set up a video, and I got done with the part where I'm talking, and I went to flip it down, and apparently there's some buttons on the side of your phone that if you hit those buttons, guess what happens? You dial 911. And that's what I did. And it started beeping and making all these noises. And then I saw that it was doing it. So I quick tried to grab it off and hang up. Too late. So I hung up, but a 911 operator called me back and asked me what the problem was. And I told her it was an accident. I was so sorry. And she said, try to be a little more careful in the future. And she did not sound happy. So now I'm afraid to play with it once it's in place. So I hope you're okay with this, just the hands. And I see a lot of videos like that. And I really hate seeing it, but it's just the best I could do. So, okay, let me show you something else here. I just cut that out using that one die. There's another die, this one, in the die kit. What does this do? This is very cool. So I took, okay, when you stamp your image, it comes out like this. I colored it. I colored it in. This one I colored with watercolor pencils. Okay, I cut the whole thing out and then I cut it again, putting this over top. Now what this does is it gives you all these little flowers that stand up, and then you can take your pick tool and you can kind of poke through and make the little holes there and just make the whole thing stand out. And it's so pretty like that. It just adds a whole nother dimension to your flower. And one of the other things that you can do with this particular set, there is another die in it that punches out 8 little flowers. I cut a whole bunch of those in purple and blue, and I stick them on when I don't have, like this, I don't think really needs them because this already has the dimension there, but you can add them like that. See how I have them there? And then just flip them up once the glue's dry. You can just flip them up. So anyway, little aside. The card, you're going to take your typical card base, and I used Highland Heather, 8.5 by 4.25, no, 8.5 by 5.5, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25, so you end up with 4.25 by 5.5 as your card. Then I took a piece of white, 4 by 5.25. I ran this through the embossing machine with the texture embossing folder just to give it that little extra pizzazz. Okay, and that's going to go there, but I'm going to do the rest of this stuff to this first. When it's just plain, I stamped a saying right on here. Some of these things that are on this stamp set are really pretty. The World is Better Because of You is my favorite because you can use this for so many different things. You can put happy birthday on the inside. You can put thank you for things you've done or whatever. It also says, you make me smile. I appreciate all the little things you do. To an incredible woman. It's such a pretty set. So you can stamp your saying on, but if you texture it, don't. I will put something in white with the saying on it. I cut a piece of the Designer Series paper, 2 by 5.25. I'm going to glue that down at the bottom. It's going to go right there. I am now going to put a ribbon on here, and wait till you see what else I'm going to show you. First, this is a trick I've used a bazillion times, so you've probably already seen it, but I just cut the ribbon a little bit wider than the card. Flip the card over, tape it down. I do faux bows this way by just then tying a little knot with the bow on the other side. But on this particular card, I'm going to put a full bow on here. The way I'm going to do this bow is I'm going to use this bow jig. This bow jig is just a piece of wood. My husband made this for me. He cut some holes in the top. The first two are, I believe, 1 inch apart. Yeah, center to center, that's 1 inch. Then he went out 1/4 of 1 inch for the next. So now I can make them a bow 1 inch wide, 1.5 inches, or bigger, based on how far apart I spread the dowels. So then what you do, you take your ribbon, bring it around, just crisscross it, and then take one part of it and bring it down underneath here. Yep, there you go. Bring it down under, and then just tie it like a knot kind of tie thing. My fingers are getting in the way, sorry about that. So you tie it, pull it tight, and then pull it off of your nails, or pull your nails out, or whatever you want to do. And look at that. I know some people have a real hard time tying a bow. I don't really, but this does come in handy sometimes. Sometimes, you know, you're just off thumbs and it just doesn't work. In this particular case, I just think that makes it easy work and pretty. Okay, so that's a bow jig. If you need instructions on how to make them, or if you don't have anybody that can make one for you and you need one, give me a holler and I'll see what I can do about getting my sweet husband to make you one, because he's like that. He likes to be helpful and he likes to do nice things for people. So I bet if I ask him really nicely, he would do it for you. Okay, so I'm going to stick that right there with a glue dot. Then I'm going to take the one that I did before with all the holes punched out of it. If I can find the stem. Oh, maybe I'm not. I guess I'm just going to use this one because, oh, there it is. There's the stem. And I'm going to put these on with dimensionals. I'm using little dimensionals on the leaves and then bigger dimensionals on the top part. Oh no, maybe I won't, because I have a whole bunch of holes punched through the top. So I will probably just use regular dimensionals there too. So I recorded this whole entire video showing how to make a couple of these cards. And somehow I'm just not that technologically savvy. And when I went to play it back, the whole thing's playing in like speeded up. And it looks really stupid. And I can't figure out how to slow it down. So I'm just re-recording the whole thing. And I hate to do that, but because it really wastes a lot of time. But that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I have these little holes punched in here. I still might put some of these on it because they just look pretty. There's a couple here and there. Oh, and don't forget the beautiful, beautiful embellishments that come with the set. If you buy the suite. It's so, so pretty. These pastel pearls. The colors on those are so nice, and they just go so beautifully with this paper. It's just crazy. I don't know. I know that they have some designers that make these things up. I'll tell you, those people must be phenomenal. They come up with such pretty stuff. So anyway, here we go. Here's our whole thing. I'm going to stick one there, different color there, and another one up here. And I will put my need something to hold that stem down or it's going to rip off. So I'm just going to pull a piece of dimensional off. Oh, I stuck my finger in my ink pad. That's why you never ever leave ink pads laying open on your desk, because I just reached over and stuck my finger right in it. Okay. And oh, I don't like the round ones. That won't look right. I'm gonna find a quick sending happy thoughts. I love that stamp set too. That is the mini messages, where it's one stamp and one die. And I've showed this on a video before, but I got this little, I think it's a tackle box or something, and I just kind of separate them all and put them in here, and then I can grab readings out of there real quick and put them on stuff, and look at that, it's done. No, it's not, because it's not attached to the card. Yeah, you have to do that. So here we go. Did y'all get Fosnox yesterday? Hope so. Man, I'll tell you what, I got them at Stout's Bakery, and well, it's Stout's Brewery, but they also have a bakery. And I got some sourdough bread while I was there, which is phenomenal. But they're Fosnox. They make the old-fashioned way, fry them in lard, and man, that one hit my Weight Watchers meeting. Fry them in lard, and they make them with potatoes. The dough has a potato base to it. So yeah, they're like mucho calories, but so good. So there we go, sending happy thoughts. Okay, I did another one here in blue. This blue is the back of that designer series paper, which is included in that Hydrangea Haven Suite. And it is all shades of Misty Moonlight. So that's what the bow's made out of, and the ribbon. Here's another one very similar to this, except this one I colored in with blends. This one is colored with watercolor pencils. So there's a couple different and yet the same. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful, and hope you join me next time. Till then, happy stamping, and thanks. See you later.